bro, I'm always like, I'm hearing all this good stuff, like, this music. I'm playing good games, good mods with actual good music. Anyway, what's up YouTube? It is your boy Bento, and welcome to Doki Doki Heart Struck. I saw this while I was checking the DDLC mods webpage, and it stood out for me. We're not gonna get back into like the actual heartfelt stories with the girls. We were stuck trying to survive the apocalypse and have many heart attacks and whatnot. Okay, buddy. Let's calm down on that. Let's calm down. Anyway, here's your quick synopsis at what Doki Doki Heart Struck is. Doki Doki Heart Struck puts you in the shoes of a young man returning to his hometown after years in hopes of fixing a broken promise. His main quest to find and reconcile with a friend he had long abandoned drove him to a small search. Although it was not a long cut, he met her in a certain club and discovered that the person he once knew as an old friend had taken on a completely different personality and even a hint of pink. Okay, we now know who the hell this is. His troubled past still beating his mind left him in a desperate need to fix all that went wrong and rebuild the bond he would cherish the most. Can he find it in himself to make amends with her and learn more about the truth behind her hostility, or will he lose all that he had struggled for in an instant? Okay, so are you telling me that there's a way that both this could go either way? Like, is it choice based? Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. Let's just hit that new game. Let's get in. Welcome to Doki Doki Heart Struck. By the looks of it, you are now playing an updated version of the game. If you'd like to see all the new content, you can skip the demo build from here, though bear in mind that many changes have been made to the demo. Although those changes are a few bug fixes and grammatical improvements, nothing new has been added, nor has the story changed. But if this is your first time playing the mod, you can start straight from the beginning. So, we're starting from the beginning. Hey, Monica. What the? Why am I still here? The files, they feel different. What? Another one? How many of these mods do you have? Oh, wait. Are you there? Yo. Well, what's going on this time? Is it supposed to be a mod? How do you remember anything? How do I... I guess I do remember a few things, but my memory is scattered. I only remember always being here whenever the code changes, in this void. But I am aware that I'm supposed to forget everything whenever the mod actually starts. Something must have prevented that from happening this time. That also means that I know what comes next. I guess I'm supposed to ask you if you want to continue with the mod or not. I don't know how that makes sense, but whatever, it doesn't matter. If I already know what's happening right now, I know that there's no point in protesting. I should come to terms with the fact that I'm just a piece of entertainment to you. It's funny though. I know this is a mod, but I can't seem to look at what it is. For all I know, it could be about me. Is that selfish to assume? Or just wishful thinking? Oh well. It's better than just staring at nothing. Would you like to launch this mod? Yes, of course. Oi. I came here for a heartfelt mod, not a weathered world again. I remember it all as clear as day. The days my life was at its worst with a mix of its best. A distant memory that so close it hurts. Heaven? Oh. The pearly white gates? I wasn't the most normal kid out there. I was what you'd call a freak. Or that's what everyone else called me anyway. I wasn't the best at making friends either because of that. Although I did try. It was just not that easy for me. Same, bro, same. At the park or at school, I was either pushed aside or avoided out of awkwardness. In the best cases, I'd look at someone and they'll walk away. At some point, I believed it was a terrible superpower of mine for how quick I could push people away. Damn. We're actually getting like background. Everywhere I went, there would always be a judgmental eye staring at me from a distance, thinking about why I'm even here. I didn't even know what was wrong with me for people to be like that. I never knew it back then, but it was always because I never understood how to act around other people. I'd mumble, panic, or stop speaking entirely when I encountered someone. The more I did it, the more annoyed everyone else got. Eventually, some kids started to think I was making fun of them or just found me creepy in general. And that's basically when the bullying started. They started making faces or imitating my stuttering when they pretended to talk to me. That's fucked up. Soon, they upped it out by flat out hitting me or pushing me around in school, at the park. At the time, I didn't fight back because I thought things would blow over, but when I realized they wouldn't stop, I also came to realize that I couldn't fight back even if I wanted to. I was weak. I don't know why I still kept going out. I had no choice with school, but why did I go to the park? Why do I go to the one place no one will ever accept you, where you'll get beat up? Was I expecting things to change or get better? I still don't know. My parents would tell me everything would be alright and that things will get better with time. That's all I need. That all I need is a little tolerance and some confidence, like all parents would say. But I just couldn't look past all the things the other kids said to me. I couldn't just go on with my days without thinking about that something was wrong with me, that I'm not normal. I don't know why, but Dad would ignore everything I had to say about the bullying that started over time. He'd push me to be more social, no matter how much it was affecting me. And when he actually did acknowledge it, he'd encourage me to fight back, but I could never do that. At some point, I just stopped thinking about it, and stopped talking in general. Light nods or static stares were all that I was left with. I had come to accept the fact that this was my life, and at a very young age too. But through all of that, I noticed something different. Or rather, someone. A little girl who was really silent and distant from others. I knew her because she happened to be in the same class as me, usually labeled the quiet kid. Don't catch them reaching down into their bag, man. Most of the time, you'd see her staying by herself and read comics away from everyone else. She was always around the scene whenever I was the punching bag for the day. She never said, let alone do anything but watch me. It was like she just hovered around me without my knowledge. She really just stood out from everyone. But I didn't notice her, even though I never found it in myself to talk or confront her about it, until she did it herself. Hey kid, you awake back there? I snapped back to reality and jolt back from my seat. I look out the car window and see a familiar area. We're here. Yeah, sorry about that. I step out of the car along with my 2 bags and walk up to his window. No worries, my boy. You look like you needed some shut-eye. Although, I wouldn't encourage you leaving yourself so vulnerable in a taxi. Not that I'm saying I would do something, but hey, words of advice. I'll keep that in mind. I appreciate you not mugging me. I quickly pay up and shake his hand before watching the cab drive down the road. He really was a nice old man. Who knew the airport was a total hour away? I guess that's why we'd always be in a rush for vacations. After a breath of fresh air, I walk down the sidewalk and admire the view as I go along. Not much really changed, and I'm glad. I missed it all. I try to ignore the struggle of the giant suitcase and the bag are giving me by looking at the scenery that surrounds me. After a while of roaming around, I reached the place. Hey, old girl. Miss me? Now that I made a fool out of myself by talking to a house, I finally step through the gate and enter. Home sweet home. Walking down the hall, I head to the kitchen and check it out for a bit. Not an urgent matter, but I check the sink and lights, making sure they're all good before I actually settle down. I dropped my bags on the couch and stretched very dramatically to get those few pops out of my back. And boy did it feel good. Before I can even sit down and properly welcome myself home, my phone starts buzzing. I pull it out. Oh my god. Keeping in my laughter, I pick it up. Hey mom. Bento, how was the trip? Reached home yet? Mom, you literally called the minute I stepped inside. Ha! I knew it. I playfully facepalm at the memory. If your mom's senses still kick, I call you the moment when you get home. Yeah, don't go bragging about it with everyone else. So, how does it feel? Still homey? Oh yeah. I immediately got that old nostalgic smell in here that I could never describe to you. Although, now that I look at everything with a fresh mind, we really had a basic theme going on here. What? You thought we'd actually turn the house into a bouncy castle like you always dreamed of? I never told you about... whatever. And it's kind of hilarious how no one bought the place in all those years. Hey, that should be a good thing. It is for now. I'm glad you got home safely, hon. How about the luggage? Oof, it was a drag, literally. I don't even know I owned this much stuff until I started packing. Oh, hush. We had doubled when you were a baby. Mom, please. Alright, I'll let you off the baby stories for today. What about the flight? Any interesting people for the stories this time? Other than a few whining children and a gump hostess, not much. Although I haven't been back here in ages, our family was all over the nation when it came to Dad's job. We'd be moving from place to place almost every 5 months, so I've grown to become a frequent flyer. Oh well, I'm sure you'll have a lot more to tell me soon. You have a lot of unpacking to do, young man. Don't remind me of the horror. Call me soon. Will do. Love you. Love you too, sweetie. Oh, and Bento? As much as I enjoy beating around the bush, I'm going to say this now. Don't go completely out of your way and try to fix things. I know how much this means to you, but please, let time do its magic for now. Yeah, okay. Alright, hon. I'll call you again at 5. The call ends. After ending the call, I sit there for a little while. Dropping my phone onto the table, I bury my face into my hands and let out a sigh. How does she manage to sound so happy with everything that's been going on? Granted, it's this positivity of hers that really reflects on me, but after the moment passes, I feel hurt. There was a lot that happened just to get me here, and she did make sure I didn't leave on a sour note. But I still wish she could have come with me. I was happy that I got to switch schools and get in one back in town, but it felt wrong for me to just leave her. Instead of going through the pain of taking my things upstairs, I went packed on the sofa and took the essentials where they went. I'll get the rest more slowly. It's still a Wednesday, and I thought about starting school from tomorrow. Not the best idea, but I'm already a bit late. I don't even have a uniform. I should go buy one. But right now, I'm beat. I look down on my bed and then quickly jump onto it like a kid and begin feeling around it. Yep, still hits the spot. I started to think about what comes next. One of the main reasons I wanted to come back here was because I just wanted to explore all those memories as a new me. But I also have to find her. And yet I'm scared of the thought about facing her after nearly 6 years. I know Mom told me not to rush the idea, but it's kind of hard to not think about it. With a not so pleasant thought in mind, I slowly drift off to sleep, letting the weight of my eyelids take over. Okay. Huh? What the hell? I'm not expecting anyone. Before the person could press the annoying bell again, I quickly shake off the sleep from my eyelids and head back down. I opened the door to see a girl with orange hair just standing there, looking off to the side with nervousness plastered on her face. Or wait, is that orange? It kind of looks pink, but at the same time, not? Has she not noticed me open the door? Well, sorry, I didn't think someone would answer. It's fine. Why ring twice if you expect nothing? Anyway, oh right, I'm Sayuri. I live right next to you. Sorry if I'm bothering you, but my parents have this tradition of welcoming new neighbors. I mean, I assume you're new since said someone had just moved in, and I'd never seen someone go in or come out of this house before. Not that she was watching you or anything. Huh, cute. Wait, no, that's creepy. Well, that's nice of you guys. Nice to see some new faces in the neighborhood. New faces? Yeah, I used to live here back. I used to live here years back. I only just got back today. Whoa, really? That's so cool. I've only lived here for like 2, 3 years, so I guess I should say welcome back. I guess so. I never felt this much positivity just radiating from someone. This girl looked around my age too. I can't tell if this is the universe mocking me for the type of gloomy person I am at this age or not. So, how long have you been away? I'd say about 5.5 years. Guess I felt too much at home because I ended up taking a nap before you came by. You were napping? I didn't mean to disturb you, I'm sorry. Oh wow. Damn, she's adorable. Relax, I had to wake up sooner or later. I needed to go buy a uniform. Really? What school? Think it was like Sakurai High? No way, that's my school. How about we go to school together and I can show you around? Sounds like a plan. Then I guess you can be my tour guide tomorrow. Sure thing. Wait, you're starting tomorrow? Wouldn't it be better to start next week? You just moved back, don't you want to rest for a bit? First of all, do you want to come in? I kind of just noticed how we're still standing at the door. Oh yeah. But it's fine really. I only got back from a little walk and my parents will be back in a bit. Alright then. So secondly, to answer your question, I kind of a frequent traveler, so moving one day and working the next is a norm to me. So I'll be alright. If you say so. Want me to tell you about the schedule first? Sure. After a bit of small talk, still standing at the front door, Sayuri went back home. She gave me a little bit of insight about the school, not without much to know. 8:45 a.m. sharp isn't really a bad time. It's actually earlier than my old school, but I doubt that means I'll get over my terrible sleeping habit. Seeing that I can't exactly get the uniform online and the school did send me the possible location to get one, I decided it's best to head out now. I arrived at 12 p.m. and slept till 3 p.m. Wow. I still have time to go around town for a bit. I could have asked Sayuri to tag along for later, but excuse me. She did say she had to head back home. That, and it would also seem sketchy for some guy to ask a girl to come along to a walk to the city after just meeting them. Oh well, I'll head out after a change of clothes. Man, I didn't think this place would be so deep in the heart of town. I never did well with crowds, but I think I can manage. It's just an in and out job. What happened to schools giving out custom sets of uniforms? Okay, maybe it wasn't just an in and out situation. I didn't think it would take that long just to find my size. Apparently my height was so average that there wasn't a uniform that would be the right fit for me. What do they mean I'm not too short but not tall enough? Weird excuse if you ask me. I was still at fault on taking too much time because I swung by a few stores just to check them out and even meet an old family friend working at the general store. I bought a few groceries, so I had a head start for tomorrow and liven up the kitchen too. Leaving my regrets and awkwardness behind, I finally head home, enjoying the orange painted scenery along the way. Aside from few newly built houses and electricity poles, not much changed. I even managed to meet a few people I knew back then. Even though I knew it was pointless to ask, they didn't know the whereabouts of her. She never let me come over to her place as a kid, so I have no clue where to start. It's not like I can go around asking for people who used to hang around at the park and ask them. Now that I think more deeply about it, how can I even be sure she's here? For all I know, she could be in a different country. I don't know her home life or what her parents do. No, come on. I barely started anything. I can't just give up. Overthinking won't get me far, no matter how logical it can sound sometimes. Yep. I eventually come around to look at the mess I've made in the living room and sigh. Now I'm glad Sayuri declined the offer to come in. Alright. After cracking my neck, I drop my uniform on the kitchen table and get to work on all that's left of my luggage. I know I'm being dramatic about it, but I'm just admittedly cranky about housework. Yep, I'm not fond about it. After a while of totally brutal hard work, I unpacked and organized everything that was left, and had something to eat a little while after. I wonder if this old TV works. I could watch some anime on here, but maybe find some old manga through these walls of books. Looking at all the books on these shelves, I find it almost hard to believe I read through all of them. But now I'm seemingly lost that sort of hobby, or rather that part of me. A while later, I remember missing a call from mom and try to get back to her, but she doesn't pick up. I decide to leave it be for the day. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm sorry. I'm too traumatized by freaking Wizard World. Yeah. But that's so annoying. I don't know how people do that. Oh my gosh. I don't know how people do it with those types of alarms. I hate it when I'm actually thoughtful. Rising from my bed as slowly as possible, I began smacking my lips and realized I was drooling. Ew. Wiping it off my cheek, wiping it off, I checked my phone for the time. Even though I could have used my phone alarm. It was just something annoying about old school alarm clocks to do the trick. Finally, I step out of the room and tackle the day ahead. After going through my morning routine, which isn't important enough to describe, I make it downstairs. As I open the fridge and look through my options for breakfast, a thought comes to mind. Sayuri is going to be accompanying me to school today. I know I got up early, but I shouldn't keep the girl waiting. Quick scrabbled eggs instead. After finishing up breakfast, I step outside and adjust to the raging sunlight in my eyes. Sayuri told me yesterday that we could meet up here and walk to school together. Although I do know where the school is, it's just convenient to walk with a person who's going to show me around the place. I've been standing here for almost 10 minutes. I wonder what's keeping her. I'm going to be late if I wait any longer. As I'm wondering this, I see a girl running towards me from a distance as if she's being chased by a maniac. Wait, no, that's her. Sorry, I overslept. I guess there's an explanation. And to think I was about to walk away on her. I just feel bad. No worries, you're here now. We should get going. We're kinda on the clock now. You didn't have to wait for me, you know? It's fine, really. Plus, I wouldn't know my way around the school even if I did reach there now. I would have needed my tour guide anyway. Okay, let's get going then. Lead the way. Our walk was a pleasant one. Both of us had kind of forgotten that we're barely late, but with all the small talk, I couldn't complain. Walking down the sidewalk, we were slowly met by a few small groups of other students making their daily commute, which means we were nearing school. I'm assuming the unpacking was a hassle? Oh, it was a pain, alright. I got through all of it though. In one day? That was it? Yeah. Did you at least help your parents out too? Oh, that's what she means. I came here alone, Sayuri. I only brought my own luggage, with the exception of a few extra supplies my mom made me take. What? So you're going to be living by yourself? I guess so. Won't you get, lonely? I wouldn't know yet. It's only been my first day. Granted, having a whole house to myself will probably be a first for me. But I had a lot of alone time before while moving in other instances, so I'm kind of used to it. I know what question comes next, but I don't know if I should dodge it or lie. Where are your parents, Dad? Well, my mom is outside the country and she didn't come due to some inconveniences. And your dad? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm strangely relieved she caught on quick from my silence, though it would be a horrible thought to be glad about something like that. It's fine. And with an exchange so straightforward, we continue on to school in awkward silence. Eventually, we reach the school and immediately Sayuri starts giving me a rundown of what needs to be known. The left side entrances are for students and the right is for the staffs. During breaks, the students are only allowed on selected areas in which the main gate isn't one of them. So I can take a guess and say that we're not allowed to leave school at any time. Just by walking through the courtyard, I can tell this place is larger than it looks on the outside. I see a lot of students heading in or standing out near the entrance talking to each other, waiting for each other. It's a very common sight. Sayuri begins pointing around the place as she further explains. A while later, we temporarily part ways so I can get myself listed and grab my schedule. I meet Sayuri the minute I walk out of the office. So what? What's your schedule? Are you in my class? Let me see. Class 2B, first period history. So it's my least favorite subject that will be greeting me on my first day. Aww, I'm in 2C. So the numbering is labeled by which year the student is in? Yep, we go from A to F for all years. But I heard that the first years are having an extension because of so many new admissions. Wait, so this is going to be my class for all 6 periods of the day? I say this after taking another look at my schedule all the way. Yeah, man, I'm going to have to get used to this. Was it not the same way in your old school? Not really, we had a different classroom for a different subject every time. I mean, doesn't it get really exhausting when you're sitting in the same room for 4 to 5 hours a day? Yeah, I get what you mean. But I guess I've gotten used to it, so it doesn't bother me. Huh, fair enough. But we should get going, because right now we're definitely not going to make it before the bell. Well, then, what are we waiting for? Let's go! Sayuri immediately grabs hold of my arm and proceeds to drag me along to class. I hope this isn't the way she plans on showing me around to what's left of the school. Classes were as boring as I expected them to be. At break, Sayuri met me outside my class and gave me a quick tour of the school. Sure enough, this is really nice, and this is a really nice and organized school, aside from the class system, that is. Even though I had been paying attention to most of my classes, I have to admit it's getting tiring really fast. I tried making conversation with the people sitting next to me and gave myself a head start on making new friends here, but the plan was short-lived. It was a random thought, but I doubt someone like Sayuri would have a difficulty getting on other people's good side. It's so new to me, but the way she is makes it feel like I've known her for ages. In reality, it's her super friendly personality that catches you in the blink of an eye. I'd assume someone like her already has a lot of friends, and she might just be someone I strive to be. Or be better. But the way things have gone for me, it just sounds like a wish. Maybe after this class, I could wait outside for her so we can walk home together. Wait, is that weird? I don't want to make it seem like I'm some creep always on her tail. Maybe I can, excuse me? Are you Bento? I nearly flinch at the voice right next to me. Besides me stood a fairly tall girl with eye-catching silver hair. Quit daydreaming, just say something before she does. I'm just gonna have to... Yeah, that's me. Judging by her small giggle, I can confirm I failed to keep my cool. I'm sorry for the little scare there. I just wanted to check in on you since you're new. And as the class representative, it is my duty to familiarize myself with my classmates. Class rep, huh? And also because you're sitting there. You've sitting here for quite some time since the bell rang. I look around the room and see that it's nearly empty, with the last 2 students leaving the room. Just great. Sorry about that. Kotenuha. Aikawa Kotenuha. Right. Thanks for snapping me out of it then. I guess I should get going too. Of course. I just wanted to actually meet you and wanted to ask about your experience so far. But I guess there's something to know about after a week or so. I finally get up and retrieve my bag hanging on the side of the desk. I'll keep that in mind. Nice meeting you. You too. The moment I exit the classroom, I nearly deflate like a balloon through a sigh of relief. Why was it so hard to talk to her? I didn't have any trouble with anyone else I met today. I guess I was still flustered over being caught mid-monologue. Shaking my head, I quickly head down the hall and to the stairs. I saw a vending machine near the stairs on the ground floor. I could grab a drink and head home. And speaking about a drink... Gatorade. Or Taterade. Oh my gosh. As I make my way down the stairs, I turn the corner to the vending machine, only to be greeted by an unexpected sight, but with a familiar face. What the? Sayuri? I find Sayuri knelt down in front of the vending machine with her hand inside the slot. Bento? What are you doing here? I just wanted to get some soda from here, but I wouldn't be questioning what she's doing here since she could have been getting something for herself, but the fact that it sounded like she was and still is struggling with her hand in a position she would have already got up from. I assumed, Sayuri, are you stuck? What? No, the bottle is just too far back and I couldn't reach it. Yeah, don't laugh. Do not laugh. Hold on, let me help you there. I kneel down beside Sayuri and take a look at her hand watching inside the drop box before trying to pull it out. The buttons on her sleeve are what caught up on the flap. She keeps trying to pull back when she should just unhook. Alright, wait. I grab hold of her arm and push it forward into the slot. When the buttons slip off the flap, I keep it open with my left hand and take hers out. Once Sayuri felt her hand loosen, she yanked it out and fell backwards, then immediately jumped to her feet. Thanks, Bento. Don't mention it. Here. I reach inside and grab Sayuri's beverage from the vending machine, which was a water bottle, and toss it to her. She catches it with ease, thankfully. You know, there are water fountains around the school. You could have just gone to one of those. Oh, this isn't for me. I just came here to get this for someone at my club. She doesn't really like using the fountains because she thinks the water isn't trustworthy or clean. Something like that. Oh yeah, I heard clubs were a thing here. You have a club of your own? Well, it isn't exactly my club, but I am the vice president. Oh, that's cool. What's the club about? It's a literature club. Huh? I'm not one to make assumptions, but I didn't expect someone like Sayuri to be into something like literature. I definitely shouldn't say that out loud. Literature, huh? So do you guys like read books and talk about them or something? Kind of, yeah. But it's not all just that. We do a whole lot of activities like small book clubs and writing poems and even play some games related to it. Huh, that's neat. I give an auto response as I walk back to the vending machine and get what I actually came for. Do you think you could check it out? The club. You could stop by and check it out. And if you like it there, you can join too. We're always looking for new members because we're a bit short on those lately. Something as uninteresting as literature does sound like something that wouldn't grab most people's attention. I, ironically, was a bookworm back then. The idea doesn't sound bad to me, but I'm getting this weird gut feeling about accepting. And it's not because it's Sayuri's request. I mean, sure I could, but I've still kind of got my own thing going on right now, like with moving back and all. Plus, it's also my first day here. It might be a quick jump for me when I haven't gotten used to the school itself. Yeah, I guess you're right. Sorry for bothering. Whoa, I didn't say I'm straight up declining. I just said I need some time to fully fit in my place here. I promise I'll check out the place when I feel like I'm good. And I know I could technically go with her to check it out now, but to me it would be kind of awkward to just show up one day and be gone for weeks only to return again. This is all I can give her for now. Okay then. Oh, right. Well, I think I've delayed you enough. I also have to head home myself, so okay. I'll see you tomorrow, Bento. Count on it. Slipping on my shoes, I step outside and notice quite a few students still roaming around outside and some huddled in groups. One half of these people could be clubs indulging in their activities, and the other could just be after-school groups hanging out. One thing I noticed as I made my way to the gates was that a lot of the people kept glancing at my direction or were outright staring at me. There were no whispers or small gossip, but any person I moved past would grow silent until I walked away a good distance. It's weird. Somehow, I feel a sense of nostalgia in this situation. It's so familiar. I continue on my path and head out through the gates. Huh? What? Okay, that was a weird insert. As I reach the neighborhood, I feel a buzz in my pocket. I pull out my phone and see a text from Mom. Call me once you get home. Huh. Might as well call her now since I'm almost there. I tap her name on my contacts and bring my phone up to my ear as my other hand digs around my pocket for my key. Hey, Bento. Hey, Mom, I got your text. Great. So you're home. I want to hear everything about your first day. Sure thing. I'm just... Shit. I drop my keys the second I pull them out of my pocket. Bento. Give me a break. I had my hands full here. It's not easy trying to open a door like that. That's no reason to let your tongue slip like that, young man. Jeez. So, how was your first whole day of school? It was nice, actually. The school itself is a really good place, and people aren't straight up jerks for once. That's great. I dropped my bag onto the table and quickly moved to the sink to wash my hands. Uh-huh. And I know I might sound like a kid for saying this, but I made a friend too. Well, I believe that's what Sayuri is to me. I say that without actually considering her thought, but I guess I see it that way. If we're going to make it a daily routine to walk to school together. Oh, that's fast. Yeah. She's actually my neighbor. I met her yesterday and found out she goes to the same school. So it's more like it's more of a it just works kind of deal. She's really nice too. The bubbly type if you want to call it. Ooh, so it's a she, huh? Don't even go there. As I painfully dissolve the sound of my mother laughing in my ear, I hold the phone between my ears and shoulder to properly wash up. After drying up, I continue telling her about my day, head up as I head up to my room. So, is Miss Shiro still around? Well, I saw the nameplate still outside her house when I walked by, so I guess she is. But it's been years. For all I know, her kids could be owning the place. Hey now, don't underestimate the power of a woman. Just because she's grown older doesn't mean she's let up. You should go visit her and maybe look around the neighborhood more. See if you can find any more old family friends. I'll keep that in mind. I gotta go now. I need to change out of this torture machine of a uniform. Oh great. Okay, Stevie. Just make sure to check the stove properly and if you're ever going to cook something. It was always a bit of a... I could hear distant yelling on my mom's end of the call. Damn it. Well, you get some rest. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Bento. Right. Love you, Mom. Love you too, sweetie. What the hell was that? I really hope they're not pushing her with more than she can take back there. It was one of the reasons I was hesitant on coming back here alone, leaving her behind. No, she's strong. I know that. I'm probably just worrying about being away from her, like I'm her parent. Even though I should be grown out of it already, I can't help but worry ever since that. Just drop it, man. She's fine. Jeez, I wonder what happened. It's very intriguing. The rest of my days was fairly boring. I went around the house, checking every room and appliances, making sure they worked, followed by going around the city once again to buy a few things. And now I'm sitting in the living room watching TV and eating dinner at the worst possible time. It's already 11 p.m. and I don't feel tired at all. I guess I could go for a late jog. I need the extra movement and it'll be enough to tire or bore me out. I'm not exactly out of shape. I used to have a solid workout routine with PE and some extra sessions. But a few weeks of not being able to do so has formed a growing laziness in me. I head to the kitchen and slip my jacket off one of the chairs and head out the door. It's not so chilly out at this time compared to yesterday. But I could have used some cold air right now. Somehow my house is magically always stuffy, even with the fans on and windows open. Oh well. I begin with a slow walk down the empty road and take in the strangely calming silence. Excuse me. As a kid, I've grown used to this scene whenever I went out with my parents, but never in a way that I'm receiving it now. I can just walk out the house whenever I want. Huh. After walking a short distance, I pull out my phone along with earphones and finally begin my jog. After a few laps around the neighborhood, I decide to take this opportunity to visit a place that did come to mind when I came back. The old park I used to go so frequently, despite everything that kept happening to me here. At first, I always kept coming back because I thought things would change, which they didn't, of course. But after some time, I started coming back for another reason. And what is that reason? Finally, I've been waiting for you. Uh, for a long time, okay? You could have just. Oh, right, I'm a kid. I'm pretty sure I'm a kid, since this is a flashback. You could have gone and played, though. Dad was hoping it was dropping me off today. He wasn't too happy. Why is that? I don't know. He doesn't talk to anyone when he's mad, but it doesn't matter. Come on, we have to get to the swings before anyone else. What's in the bag? He'll find out when we get there. Now move your butt, dum dum. Huh? Why am I? Whoa! Come on. Huh. I can't believe we played tic-tac-toe all day back then. On the swing set too. I wonder if they ever got rid of that one nail sticking out of one of the seats. For all I know, everything could be different now, or everything could be gone. Although, it wouldn't be a kid's park anymore without the ride, so I don't think the latter has happened yet. I head inside, still keeping the music in my ears at full blast, knowing I probably won't be able to be allowed in at these hours. As my wishes were heard, I walk inside to find a few scenes all too familiar. Old rusty slides, a few swings here and there, and even a small sandbox, which was the only thing new in there. I walked down the wide path along that divided the play area from the rest of the park. My attention still towards the left, where I usually met up with her. The smell of rain was actually just the wetness all around me, left behind by the caretaker, probably going ham with watering the place again. I really hope it's still the same man from back then. It took me a few steps to suddenly think of something which caused me to stop at my tracks. I look back at the swings. I can't. Can I? After a good few minutes of looking around and contemplating my choices, I sneak over to the swing set. Once near it, I stand and stare at it for a good while before giving it a light kick to check its sturdiness. For old time's sake. I muster up the courage and sit down on the swing. Okay, I had the guts to come this far, but I'm not actually going to. The sound of the chain squeaking against the metal proved my humiliating defeat against my own motives. The wind brushes through my hair as I swing. I find myself staring at my outstretched legs as I move. It's weirdly nostalgic. The more I get into it, the more my childhood memories flood in, but they're all as clear as day. I really haven't moved on, have I? Why did you just let him do that? He kicked you for no reason and you just stood there doing nothing. He even stole my book. I'm sorry. Ask my mom if I can buy you another one. What? I don't care about that. Why didn't you fight back or something? I just can't. Just forget it. Come on, I have some water. Clean your face up. Damn, bro. This music's about to make me tear up, dog. Oh my. I fall backwards off the seat and back first onto the ground. Kotanuha, who I somehow didn't see coming, burst into laughter upon my landing, which only worsened the growing heat in my cheeks. I really hope this isn't going to turn into a running gag between us. She then offers me her hand as I reluctantly take it and get up to my feet. Once I dust myself from behind, I awkwardly chuckle before meeting her gaze. Yeah, sorry about that again. It's totally fine. I saw you from afar and you just looked like you needed a minute. But now that we're kind of past that, I have to ask, are you alright? If it's something personal, I'm not going to ask too much. No, it's fine. It's alright. Strangely, she steps aside and sat down on the swing next to me. So, come here often? No. I mean, yeah. Alright, let me try that again. I used to come here often as a kid, yeah. But now I come here mostly to relive the past since it's been so long. Oh, you hadn't even walked by this place any other day? Huh? Oh, no, I just moved back in town, so... Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. So I guess this makes this visit a lot more special. Mm-hmm. I really had been away for a long time. I only came back home yesterday. This place was the heart of my childhood, in a few different ways one would assume. But I guess more so miss the person I spent it all here with. A childhood friend kind of deal, huh? Oh, yeah. She was my only friend back then. I felt terrible because I kind of just left her in the dark and moved away. And now you're trying to find her in hopes of making up? I guess. You guess? I mean, yeah, I want to find her and talk to her, but I'm kind of scared too. Because she'd probably be more mad than happy to see me. I'm just worried that once I face her, she might not even see me as she did back then. Maybe she already moved on or might just end up or might just end it once we meet. I just can't afford to lose someone like her, but I'm not exactly going to make any progress by staying away, so I'm kind of just... As I continue, I can still see a glimpse of the days we first met. How she lent me a crayon out of nowhere and asked if I wanted to draw stuff with her. Wow, that's a lot, even for a new guy. Well, all I can really tell you is that we can't really predict fate. She might be upset, or she might be happy to see you. Both outcomes are huge possibilities, but you'll never know until you just do it. If you've come all this way for her sake, then you should go through with it. Sure, it might not end up in your favor, but it all comes down to you. If you feel like waiting it out, you can. But if you do it the second you get the chance, then it's good for you that you at least tried. I don't know. That's just how I view things. It might be a different situation for you, but that's just my advice. No, I appreciate the advice. It does give me a bit of a head start on what I have to do now. Otherwise, I would just aimlessly walking around not knowing what I would have actually been looking for. Anyway, what about you? Huh? I'm not one to talk, but it's past midnight. What made you come to a local park so late? Oh, it's actually quite the silly, really. My little brother left his toy car in the sandbox this afternoon. When I got home from school, my mom told me he'd been crying ever since they got home. It took us so long to make him stop and actually tell us what was wrong. By the time we finally understood the situation, it was already dark out. I see. That's kids for you. Yep. She suddenly swings back and hops off the swing when it comes forward. Thanks for reminding me why I'm actually here. And you're right, it is getting late. I'll just go and find the car, so don't let me keep you here. If you need a hand, I can help you out. It'll be quicker, and I certainly can't leave a nice girl such as yourself out here at night like that. What the hell? Why? Well, aren't you the gentleman? Well, I guess I could use some assistance. With that, she simply walked past me with a bright smile while I remained immobilized on the spot. This was something that's been on my mind for years. I never moved on, but I changed. I changed because of the motivation one person gave me. Look, I know you don't like fighting, but you have to keep yourself safe somehow. I'm not always going to be there to help you when those jerks pick on you. You won't? What? No! I didn't mean it like that, dummy. I mean, I can't be there all the time, but... So if I get stronger and stop these guys from hurting me, will you stop being so cranky about it? Huh? I'm not being cranky. Ow, 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 ow. Stop throwing the pencils. You're going to break them. Ow. But what about when we get older? Huh? What are you all about? What about it? What if we grow older and you won't be here? Mom said I'll stop coming here when I get older, and this is the only place we actually got to play together. Then we'd still find a way. I know my papa doesn't allow me to have someone come over. Neither does mine. But we'll try our best to stick together. That's the point of being friends. So... We'll always be together. In the end, I was the one who ended up not being there. I was the one who broke that promise and their trust. You coming, Bento? Tonight's not getting any younger. Yeah, coming. I promise I'll make things right. Natsuki. Yep, it's our favorite pink-haired bundle fucking tsundere. The days after have been really slow and uneventful, except for the day after I went to the park. Even though I expected it to happen, I overslept Sayuri that morning. She actually came to my house to wake me up by abusing the doorbell, an impressive technique that actually worked. However, the school day was completely hell for me. I tried to get some shut-eye during classes, which backfired and almost got me kicked out of classes. Kotanu, however, understood my case and let me off the hook a few times when we crossed eyes. Excuse me? After that, Sayuri and I exchanged numbers after she had the idea of using it to wake up each other. Which doesn't sound like at all that bad, but might be over the top. Right now, on this boring Tuesday morning, I'm staring at the clock with most of my sleep out of the window, waiting for it to be break already. I swear I'm usually not this involved in school, but it's just not my day. After a few minutes, the bell shows me mercy and I soon exit my class. I say exit, but I practically waddle my way out, since my legs decided to stay asleep longer than me. Now that I'm actually out here, I need to figure out what I'm going to do besides walking around and eating lunch. With my lack of friends and other reasons, I can only turn to Sayuri or Kotonuha in that matter. Maybe I can text Sayuri since I already have her number. But I again think to myself about what counts as too much closure and not. Guess I'll just let the world decide how I'll spend my time today. I start by heading down the hall and begin looking around the places I'm allowed to be around. I'll head outside once I've had my fill. I end up wandering into the library, which the first thing that catches my eye is a wide doorway at the far end, which I was not expecting to see. Other thing I noticed is how packed this place is. Kinda makes me want to back out. But since I'm here, I wouldn't hurt to check out what they have in here. I really do feel like picking up my reading again. Not that I'm in dire need of it, but rather I just feel the need to relive the good old days back once again. With my current state of mind, I really wonder how I even found myself captivated by lines of pages by a thick book. I look around the first few shelves nearest to me, picking out titles that seem to catch my eye. A cheap start, but I wouldn't mind picking up something. It was also really surprising to see a lot of students in here already, and during break for that matter. I eventually pick out a book and take a look at the cover. Return, huh? The story features a young man who experiences a great tragedy with the loss of a friend, only to be thrown back in time, as if given a second chance to save them. He discovers that it's not as easy as it seems to save a life, and that the more he presses on to do so, the more his struggle intensifies and breaks him down. What genre is this again? Oh, what the hell. I'm not one to question cliche plots. It's not like I'm trying to pick out stuff to criticize. It might just be fun to read out of all I know. I begin reading it to get the first look at what I'm getting into as I walk over to one of the seats. Ah! As I turned the corner, I nearly crashed into a girl who was carrying a sizable amount of books. And since we both startled each other, she lost her balance and the tower of books she had in her hands fell from her grasp. Books which I immediately went to catch. I dropped mine in the process, but I managed to catch hers. That counts as a win, right? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. It's fine. I'm just glad we didn't fully crash into each other. I guess there's that. I set down the books on a nearby table while she reaches down to pick up mine. This girl had long brown hair that partially curtained her face, and when she knelt down to pick up my book. Her movements were swift and her entire posture was so firm. These are a lot. Were you taking them somewhere? Actually, I was bringing these back here. I had borrowed a lot the past weeks and nearly went over too because I lost track of when I got them all. Then I felt like saving the hassle of the librarian and put them back myself after checking them in, of course. Huh, is that so? Anyway, sorry to delay you like that. I was just checking the library out since I hadn't been here yet and started wondering. Oh, are you new here? Yeah, actually, I've only been here for a few days. Well then, as head of the student council, I welcome you to Sakura High. Glad to be here. Name's Bento. Monica. Nice to meet you. It's really interesting how all of the students that I've met and talked to at this point have been of high recognition of position. Well, no one else really talks to me despite my best efforts. I can't tell if I'm lucky or cursed. I'm assuming you don't need need a rundown of the school? Yeah, I'm alright. Someone already gave me the tour of the place last week. Although, I gotta ask. I pulled my head at the glass door behind me as she takes a glance at it. Is there a reason that door is more fancy looking than everything else? And why it's a secondary entrance? Oh, that. Well, to keep it simple, the school keeps the library open and free to use anytime, even after school hours. And it's not only visited by the schools of the students of the school. So to avoid the trouble going through the entire school to get here, they made a back door which leads back to the main gate in one turn. Though I do agree with the decor is a bit over the top. Well, that explains a lot, and honestly sounds pretty cool. I probably needed to know that for future plans. Well, I'm glad that I've been of assistance then. Monica then proceeds to take the books off of the table I set them on, slipping each of them into their respective shelves. You need a hand? Sure, if you don't mind. I guess I can't count this as a good use of my time until break's over. I'm standing here helping out the head of the student council with something, which on paper doesn't sound all that fascinating, but being me, I find it almost unbelievable, especially when we're talking about a pretty looking girl like her. Even when I didn't know who this girl was, there was this intimidating vibe I got from her. I saw the cover of your book there. Are you interested in this genre? To be really honest, no, but also I don't know. Back in the day, it wasn't really in my interest in this kind of fantasy, even though I used to read a lot. But I like to think my preference has changed over time. Oh, so you're a freaking reader? As we finish up, I pull away and wipe my hands before turning to her. I used to be. I'm only now getting back into the habit after years of just dropping it. Although I'm not sure about the end result, whether it'll stick with me anymore or not. If I give it a shot and it turns out that I actually like it, then great. But if I don't like it, I'll still be satisfied knowing that I at least gave it a try. Exactly. That's precisely the kind of perspective I want my club members to follow. Oh, you have a club too? Mm-hmm. Even though it's my first time running a club, I still have confidence that I can make it grow into something worth all the effort. Most of my members are really reluctant on trying new things and expressing their own likeliness out of shyness. So I wanted to at least help them break through that fear. But they do show passion for what they love. Even if the subject at hand doesn't really seem like it could grab much attention and we don't have many members because of it. A club that doesn't grab much attention, run by someone who seems to be very passionate about it, and they don't have many members? This entire description fits what Sayuri told me in bits and pieces about the club she's in. It's a hunch, but may I ask what this club is? Oh, it's about literature. Well, I'll be damned. Huh, cool. Very cool. Are you perhaps interested in joining? I wouldn't say Sayuri has been bugging me about it, but it has been a main concern of hers over the weekends and when we talked in school and texted each other. It's not like this would do me any harm. If anything, it'll just be another push for me to make more friends outside my own class. And on the plus side, it would be a good way for me to get back into the reading and the idea of literature itself, so I could at least brag about one thing to Mom. What the hell. It could be fun regardless. I just hope they're willing to accept my opinion on manga, and if I could introduce it there as a chief sneak to bring my own to school. Yes, actually. As I said, I'm trying to get back into my reading habit since it would be helpful. I could probably make use of the time being there, and it would also allow me to explore what more there is to literature. So yeah, I'd be happy to join, if that's alright with you. Of course, that would be great. Would you like to come to the club today? I could accompany you to the room after school if you liked. That would be nice, but I wouldn't want to put you through all that trouble. You can just tell me the room number and I'll drop by, if you say so. Our club room is class 3E on the second floor. Alright, I'll see you there then. Great. After the exchange, I excused myself to go and check out this book from the librarian. Kinda glad I got my student card early. After that, I head out from the library and make my way back to class since I noticed there's only 3 minutes left until the bell rings. Man, I never knew math could be this much fun. I can't tell if I actually found it all a bit easy or it was just the principal or the teacher's positive vibe that helped me pull through it all. After the final bell sounded it off, I waved goodbye to Kotonuha and head out to the classroom. She's been very interactive with me, and I can't really tell if it's because of our encounter that night or if it's her way of familiarizing herself with the students. But it feels nice having someone like that around regardless. No one else seems to approach me in class, so it's not always awkward loneliness with her around. Running Monika's directions through my head, I finally began making my way to the stairs. After a short while of walking along the classrooms, I finally spot room 3. I noticed that club members get to leave 5 minutes early, so I guess those who attend this meeting are already there. Sorry isn't for a surprise, alright? I enter the room and get a quick glance of the area. And that is where we're gonna cut it off. We're gonna leave you at a cliffhanger. Boy. Yeah, anyway. We're gonna cut it off there. So far, Mutt's great. Story wise, it's great. So far. I wonder what is next for this mod. But yeah. I'm sorry, I'm lost for words for now. So this mod is really nice, as I said, story wise. It's amazing. I'm repeating myself over as an attempt to add more things to it without the awkward silence. We used to live around here, but there wasn't much said of our situation with our father, our mother, or any of that. But we used to live here, but then moved away from unknown circumstances, and then 6 years later, we come back with unknown circumstances of our mother not coming along with us. We have multiple reasons of being here, but one of our main reasons is that we're trying to find someone. A childhood friend of ours that we promised we would always be with them. If I heard that correctly. If I remember what the dialogue correctly, yeah, it's that. Because we're upset. We're not upset. We're anxious to know if they're going to be upset for not being there as we said we were. And with a little cutoff during those flashbacks, is known that Natsuki was our childhood friend for back then. So yeah. Hold up. We have new characters, Kotonuha. So that's nice. Anyway, if you like this video, why not hit that like button? And hey, if you enjoyed this type of content, I intend on making more of this type of content, so why not hit that subscribe button? Anyway, this has been Doki Doki Heart Struck. This has been your boy Bento. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bento out.